If you're superstitious, you should probably sleep in through as much of today as you can, because it's Friday the 13th. Legend has it that Friday the 13th is the unluckiest day in the calendar. The fear of Friday the 13th even has a name, trigotriskaidekaphobia, which combines the fear of Fridays with the perception that the number 13 is seriously unlucky. Some say it comes from the Bible. For example, Judas, the apostle who betrayed Jesus, was described as the 13th guest at the Last Supper. Also, events including the Great Floods during the time of Noah, Eve tempting Adam with the forbidden fruit, and Jesus' death all apparently happened on Fridays. Others believe it is linked to Norse mythology, which tells how Loki, the demigod of mischief, turned up uninvited, joining 12 others and taking their number to 13. He then sparked chaos that led to the death of Balder, a good god. What better way to celebrate Friday the 13th than with 13 tales of terrible luck and horror? Number 13. A bus conductor has a run of serious bad luck. Retired bus conductor Bob Renfrey of North Wales decided to spend every Friday the 13th in bed after a run of bad luck on the fateful day. Among other misfortunes, he wrote off 4 cars, got made redundant, fell into a river, crashed a motorcycle, and walked through a plate glass door. Number 12. And it didn't stop when he died. When Bob died of cancer in 1998, his widow, Betty, who on previous Friday the 13th had fallen downstairs, been hit by falling guttering, and been hospitalised after Bob hit her in the face with a stick he was throwing to a dog, decided to book his funeral on Friday the 13th of March as a final tribute. Alas, all of Ryle's undertakers were too busy. Bob would have seen the funny side, said Miss Renfrey. Number 11. A not so happy ending. Former Sunderland striker Michael Chopra broke up with WAG Heather Swan just 3 weeks after their £250,000 wedding. Care to hazard a guess when they got married? That's right, the ceremony was held on Friday the 13th of June, 2008. Number 10. Even staying in bed couldn't help this man. Friday the 13th of August, 1976 was particularly unlucky for New York man Daz Baxter. Having elected to stay in bed to ward off bad luck, the floor of his apartment block collapsed and he fell 6 stories to his death. Number 9. The unluckiest day of a couple's life. Michelle and Gary Doherty had a memorial wedding on Friday the 13th of August 2004. First, a swarm of wasps attacked guests at East Kilbridge Registry Office, Lanarkshire, as they waited for Michelle's arrival. Her aunt, Mary Strachan, smashed an expensive digital camera while trying to swat one of the pests, and when Michelle finally did turn up, an insect flew up her dress, triggering a panic attack. After the ceremony, 2 minibuses booked to transport the guests to the reception failed to turn up, and the couple lost their wedding video. Number 8. A real-life disaster situation. Friday the 13th of October, 1972 was the date a plane carrying Uruguayan rugby team Montevideo Old Christians crashed on its way from Montevideo to Santiago, Chile. When the researchers finally found the 14 survivors 2 months later, it emerged that they had survived by eating human flesh from some of the 31 crew and passengers who perished in the crash. In 1992, the story was filmed as Alive, starring Ethan Hawke. Number 7. A seriously unlucky accident. A full moon on Friday the 13th of February, 1987, drove troubled Robert Bullard, 21, to attempt suicide by putting his head in a gas oven. Not only was his methodology flawed, suicide by natural gases is virtually impossible since Britain moved from lethal coke gas to the less dangerous natural gas. But a flicked light switch caused an explosion which injured his mother and a policeman and caused £35,000 worth of damage. Robert was unharmed. Number 6. Britain's unluckiest man. Friday the 13th of February 1998 was simply business as usual for Mancunian John Sheridan, dubbed Britain's unluckiest man after once having his car stolen 5 times in one day, making 16 trips to casualty in 2 years, seeing 8 TVs explode in 6 months, and losing out on a £4,000 lottery win when he put the ticket in the washing machine with his jeans. John's big day began when his Saab ran out of petrol. He hitched a lift with a sympathetic policeman whose car broke down at the garage. John returned to his car with a can of petrol, got it started but lost a wheel as he turned the corner. He returned home on the bus, which broke down. Completing his journey on foot, he realised he'd left his keys inside his car and had to return in case it was stolen. Number 5. A bad choice of fancy dress. In April 2008, a Thames Valley Police helicopter and armed response unit swooped on Bicester, Oxfordshire, after receiving reports of a man wandering through the town centre wielding a chainsaw. They found a partygoer who had elected to dress up as Jason from the Friday the 13th movies. A police spokesman said they discovered he had removed the blades from the chainsaw and was wearing what was possibly fancy dress. Our officers told him to cover up his outfit or he would be given a fixed penalty notice. Number 4. Freak weather chaos. On Friday the 13th of October 2006, 36 inches of snow fell on upstate New York. The ensuing chaos claimed 3 lives and incurred $130 million of damage. Number 3. Tupac loses his battle. Friday the 13th of September 1996 saw rapper Tupac Shakur die of wounds he received in a drive-by shooting after the Mike Tyson comeback fight against Bruce Seldon in Las Vegas on September the 6th. After Tupac's cremation, members of his posse, Outlaws Immortal, mixed some of his ashes with cannabis and smoked them. Number 2. No one saw that coming. On Friday the 13th of March 2009, Thorpe Park premiered its new Saw the Ride, based on the successful horror film. However, it looks like the curse of the day could have struck, because the ride had to promptly shut down because of technical problems. Number 1. Mere coincidence? And the unluckiest Friday the 13th of them all, on Friday the 13th of October 1925, Lincolnshire couple Alfred and Beatrice Roberts had their second child. She is better known now as Margaret Thatcher.